Alright, let's go over a little red today. We drove it down 60 plus miles to the dyno and strapped it down on the dyno. First pull, I think it was on about 169 kPa and absolutely pig rich up top in boost. It was about 10.0, or I mean it was really rich. And it, like I say, it was on about 160 or 69 kPa. Then he went in and cleaned out the fueling, smoothed the VE table, and pulled out 5% fuel up top. Made another pull, and air fuel was pretty much spot on, about 11.5. Then let's see what else. Oh, then the boost went down because it was more efficient. So with the engine being more efficient, then the boost went down and power came up. So basically him just cleaning up where the file was, it went from making 470 or 480 to about 520, 530. So I came over here to my little boost controller I make and tightened the screw 3 times, put 3 full turns in it, and it went to 13 pounds of boost and made 662 on, no, again, 13 pounds of boost, I just said that, but yeah, so it was incredible. I mean, the power just came in quick. I mean, it was did much better. So this little boost controller I make, what it does is it's just a brass T. There's a spring in it, and then there's a ball at the end, and the spring puts pressure on the ball, and it reduces pressure going to the bottom of the wastegate, therefore allowing it to make more boost. So he's very impressed with these. I mean, I really just looked on YouTube how to make these. They're very easy to make, and they work very well. One and a quarter turns about 4 pounds of boost, but getting them set to zero gain, as he calls it, is kind of tricky. I just listen for the ball to stop rattling and try to blow through it. But I mean, once you get it turned to where about 1 1/4 turn is 4 pounds of boost, rock solid, does very well. Does really well. So again, he cleaned up the VE table. Fueling was good, 13 pounds of boost, and then he did I don't know what else he did. Then it made like 674 and 656 foot-pounds, I believe. I mean, it was just so I mean, 3 or 4 pulls and he already had it right on the number. Then he played with cleaning up the fueling at cruise, and it had a horrible return to idle. It was just had a horrible rolling idle, and that was attributed to these cheap 102 throttle bodies. So the blades are all the way closed. So he basically had to go in there and clear the IAC counts, zero them out, pulled a bunch of timing. I think it was like on 26 degrees timing in the idle table, and he knocked it to 15, and then just zeroing all the IAC counts below a certain threshold made it return back to idle, and it did well. So I didn't want him to keep thrashing on it, so I was like, look, man, we already made more than enough power with this thing, on 13 pounds and 93 pump gas. I said, let's not get greedy with it. Let's just dial in the cruisability and, just clean it up and have it ready to go. So that's what we did. We went and drove it, and it's like it's on ice skates and just runs and drives incredible. I mean, he told me, he's like, man, out of all the trucks and everything you brought down here, he's like, this one's my favorite. The truck drives so well, and the cruise control works. It's got AC and heat. And then he was really happy with the SS seats. They just really, these things fit so well. I'm very happy nobody bought these seats and I was able to figure out how to fit them in here, because they really do sit way better than a raggedy Silverado seat, especially your basic work truck, with these side bolsters and everything. And it's got the SS steering wheel. But I mean, this thing, I cruised down there on my tune, and another thing I learned was when he was watching the air fuels at my cruising, when I'd build my histogram, the wideband isn't efficient at the lower KPA values with less exhaust flow and everything. So what he was telling me is he would use the narrow bands in the crossover tube, and he would go off of those to tune the cruising and everything else, because I just had it pig rich because I didn't know that the wideband wasn't efficient at those lower exhaust flow, when you're just sitting there cruising. So he said what he does is he would take one O2, plug it in, bank one, sensor one, and just wire tie it to the frame. Take the other O2, put it in the downpipe, and then change your injector to where it's all on bank 2 for the O2s, so then that way it can see both of them, but it's making them all read off of that one instead of averaging them. So that's what he did, and I mean, just the cruisability, I mean, he really cleaned it up, and it's so much better. I mean, it's cruising home, 85, 90 mile an hour. I mean, the speed limit 70. Just smooth, and then there was a Mustang on the way home, and he couldn't understand why he couldn't keep up. But this truck really turned out nice. I'm very happy with it. And so for the update on the combo, this is a 6-liter out of the 1500 HD. It's got a stage 2 Summit turbo cam, and then this is the Billet S480. And I'm very impressed with this turbo. It really did well. We had the white truck there. I think I already posted, a short snippet of it. So it's a 6.0 as well, and it has the stage 2 high lift truck cam, because that was already what was in that engine when I put it in the truck. If you go back and watch the build thread on that truck, but it has the cast version of that. It's a $400 VS turbo, and boy, it made a lot of noise. Like this one, when it was in boost at full song, you really couldn't hear the turbo. And I mean, I was shocked, at the power numbers that this thing made compared to the other one, because I'm not sure what it is with the white truck, but it just we had to do multiple pulls. It was pulling 2 degrees from somewhere. It was bursting off. I'm very conservative on my knock sensors and all, because being on the street, I know with these things, if you miss the tune, you got broke parts. So I try to be real conservative, and with going to him and learning all I've learned, I mean, it's really helped me out as far as now, from now on, when I tune them, and then take them down to him and really get them dialed in on the dyno. It's really been a good experience. So, and like I say, this one made, which I didn't have much time tuning on this one on my own around on the streets, because it had the 60 in it and it tore up before we could really get many pulls or data logs on it. But this is the 80 that I built last week. I mean, I took it down, built it, did the dual feed, put the HD2 kit in it. It's got a 3200 stall lockup converter in it, and I mean, the transmission did well. Couldn't ask for anything more. This one has lockup. The white truck does not have lockup. It's got a 9.5 non-lockup PTC in it. And, just to be able to just cruise down interstate, like I say, and this thing going to lockup and just cruise with traffic and then just blow the tires off at will. I mean, it's just, I'm really happy with this truck. I mean, it needs some more. I got to finish cleaning the engine bay and all that stuff, and painting the underside of the hood there and all. But I mean, with the full exhaust driving down the interstate, there's really, it doesn't have a drone. It's quiet, you know, and it's just really got a lot of power. It needs some traction bars on it, but other than that, I mean, it's really turned out well. The white truck ended up making 640s or something. This one made more, and it was on 15 pounds, and this one ended up on 13 pounds because I was like, let's not, you know, 670. I mean, it's, you know, that's plenty in this thing. So I don't want to get crazy on pump 93. If we had E85 or something, then absolutely we'd push it and go for it. But you know, I like to drive them and enjoy them, and I don't want to have them on the ragged edge where you know, I fear it's gonna grenade itself going down the road. So the white truck again did it. I don't know if it was just that turbo, that cam. I don't know why it just didn't do as well. But I mean, 642, or you know, ain't no slouch. But you know, after seeing this thing, it was like, man, this thing's just really impressive. And and the sad thing is it made more than the red truck over here. So you know, the red truck made 671. I think there's a deer going by. But you know, the red truck was on 12 pounds and made 671 and 652. This one made like 656. I mean, it was tit for tat. But this is a 9.5 to 1 compression engine. It's a LQ4, 317 heads, and a T4 VS turbo. I mean, the red truck has a T6 Jose forced inductions turbo, 823 heads, you know, a Jarrett custom cam and all that stuff. I mean, you know, like I say, we could have leaned on that thing and gone a lot farther, but, you know, the third, fourth pull, this thing already beat the red truck hands down. I mean, it just really is an impressive combo. So this will certainly be my cookie cutter combo from now on. I'm really happy with this turbo, really happy with how well the cam did. And I mean, it just, like I say, just driving it's just a dream. So I think that's the end for this one. You know, I'll finish up a couple things on it, and she'll be going to her new home. And my sensor came in for the quadra-steer, so I got the quadra-steer working, so I'll post a video on that too. But that's it for now.